tournament will be taking place in the coastal city of Kenya. Now, Hassan Juma, who's my editor, caught up with Clarence Mwakio, who's the head of Tong Il Moo, Kenya, and he says that all plans are in place to make sure that they host an international level tournament in Mombasa. Let's take a look.
The pressure is there, we can feel it, but one thing our coaches have always insisted on us is to always stay hungry and never let success get into your head and never let the defeat get into your heart. So yeah, that's our motto and our principle. We are all looking forward to it. We are hoping to join camp soon. We are not in camp yet, but we're still training in our regions together virtually. But once we get together in camp for the remaining days, we will just be polishing on the skills that we already have and work on a strategy to deal with the newcomers in this year's edition. Mm-hmm. We are feared when it comes to sparring and forms. We are yet to put more work when it comes to special techniques, a bit of weapon techniques also. We need to pull up our socks, and we are working on it. I'd like to thank the leadership for their support so far up to where we are right now, because if it wasn't for them, truly we wouldn't be here. I would also wish to urge them to give us support promptly and in time, in good time, to also give us the motivation to participate, because honestly speaking, it's a morale killer when it comes to late funding and haste preparation. You know, these things, when you do them hastily, we don't really sometimes get enough time. It affects our performance, to be truthful. And also, when you talk about young federations, Hassan, when are they going to become big? We need to build. The government needs to intentionally build these so-called young federations by supporting their activities so that they can become big. We're also eyeing to join the Olympics before we retire. So we hope we can manage and be part of the team, the first team, let's say, that goes to participate, represent Kenya in the Olympics in Tong Il Moo. So the only way we can get there is if we get our support in time.
The event is of very big, huge importance to our country. One, to the Kenya Tong Il Moo Federation and its members. The students are able to get exposure of international standards locally. Another thing is, when we host this event here, we are able to field more Kenyan participants to the event. We get students and players into the event from the grassroots. Mm-hmm. We get the students, we train them, we prepare them well for this championship. And when they come there, they're able to experience what any martial artist can experience, let's say in Korea or Japan or even China. So we bring that foreign experience here. And the good thing also is the foreign competitors also come here in large numbers and offer them a good opportunity for them to test their skills and also be able to win. And some of them, of course, lose here and there. So that is one. Second, it's also very important for our economy, because the model of Mombasa Open is one, training together with the foreign participants. Second is the championship. And third is sports tourism. And we know Kenya, being a major tourist destination in the world, is a popular destination for many people, and we are also using this event as a gateway for martial arts enthusiasts to use it to get to know our country more and visit our spectacular tourist destinations. So that aspect of Mombasa Open Tong Il Moo International Martial Arts Championship is directly channeled towards marketing Kenya as the best tourist destination. We have a big problem at the Ministry of Sports of discrimination among sports federations. To my understanding as a sports administrator, I would assume or believe that those so-called big federations are supposed to get less funding because they're supposed to have matured, they're able to work on their own and seek funding. They're supposed to be attractive to sponsors, then leave the limited resources for the upcoming federations. But it's the opposite. Most of those called big federations are the ones which take the lion's share of the funding. Well, we have passed on a message to our new Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, and we have actually requested for an appointment. Of course, we hoped that he would check into the office sooner, but there was a Paralympic, we understand. But we still believe that hopefully in the shortest time possible, he'll be able to give us audience wherever he is in the country, so that we can also put across his office our final appeal for funding towards the 12th edition of the Mombasa Open Tong Il Moo International Martial Arts Championship. We presented our calendar of events with the budget in December last year, as required by the Sports Fund policy. We also sent a reminder letter to the Cabinet Secretary for Sports then in May this year, and that was basically a reminder because everything was planned. And in April, when the national team was supposed to travel to the Philippines for the World Championship there, we were requested to choose between taking Jasiri to the Philippines or getting funding to host this championship. Well, we chose hosting because hosting this World Championship event in Kenya gives more Kenyan players an opportunity to compete. If we had taken our team to the Philippines, we'll probably have taken 20 to 30 players. We need a team which is more passionate about sports, a team at the Department of Sports which wants to push the sports forward and gives proper messaging to the Principal Secretary and the Cabinet Secretary. When the CS and the PS get wrong messaging about your federation, and especially in this case, if it is malicious, for their own personal reasons. Something which has happened to Kenya Tong Il Moo Federation in the year 2022, if you remember, some funny letters were written to derail the event. We thank God that the event happened. And this year too, there's an officer who sat on our letter for 40 days. I called, made reminders, asked what is the problem. And in between that period, we were being asked for letters. Bring this, bring that, bring this. Some of the things we were being asked for were already at the ministry. But you see, this is an international event, but someone seated here feels like this event should fail. And we were hoping that everybody should be patriotic enough to make sure that this event succeeds. This is not a personal event. Behind me, I'm just the face of the federation, but we have thousands of Tong Il Moo members all over the country and over 50,000 direct funds who are following Tong Il Moo activities. So, and of course, we represent the country. So we would hope that we have more patriotic sports officers. Of course, I'm not saying all of them have issues, but some of them are not helping the government achieve the agenda of sports in the country. We would find instances where federations make requests for funding and our letters just lie idle there. Most times the letter would take 1 or 2 days at the PS or the CS's office and it goes to the Department of Sports. But why does it drag there? Why? You see, it gathers dust. Then now we start working on emergencies. Last year, if it was not for the intervention of the Cabinet Secretary then, the event would have collapsed. The same officer sat on our letter for 3 weeks. Now, after the CS then intervened, we had to push the event forward by 2 days. Of course, that means extra expenses, change of air tickets, now buying emergency tickets for the officials, extra days for accommodation, extra cost for everything. And of course, those are losses in the country. Those are things which needs to be stopped. When we have an opportunity to meet the CS, we will put all these things to bear to him so that he's able to clean up where the problem is. Of course, us as federations will also do our part. We have to make sure that we clean up our houses.
In terms of accountability and all that.
Yeah, in terms of accountability and in terms of making sure our sports grow and benefits, one, the players, benefits, second, the coaches, and the officials who are managing the federation.
Well, that is where we wrap up Inside Sports this afternoon. My name is Robinson Okenye. Enjoy the rest of